This Sunday is our annual Lessons and Carols, and this Christmas festival of Lessons and Carols has become a really beloved tradition here at St. John's, and something that many of us look forward to as kind of the kickoff to the real heart of the Christmas celebration. This service, of course, was created by the Bishop of Truro, way down in the southwest of England in that Cornwall Peninsula. He created it in the year 1880, and he sort of just made it up out of whole cloth. And it caught on right away. And then, of course, we know it primarily because of King's College in Cambridge. They started theirs in 1918, so they've been doing it well over 100 years. And it spread very quickly. We have some of our young gentlemen who have gone to the Groton School. Groton picked it up very quickly. They've been doing it for over 100 years as well in this country. And it's a form that we're very familiar with. It's a sequence of readings that go from the Old Testament prophecy all the way through the birth narrative, interspersed with familiar carols, new anthems that are written in honor of the season, oftentimes with fresh and interesting texts, lots of festive music. And this year will be no different. We have lots of great music. In fact, we've actually introduced several new pieces to the choir, or pieces that are at least new to our repertoire. So when we read about Mary and the visitation of the angel Gabriel giving Mary the news, we will be responding with a setting of the Ave Maria, very traditional text, by the 20th century composer Igor Stravinsky. And Stravinsky, of course, grew up in Russia, and he originally wrote this setting for the Slavonic, the Russian Orthodox text, and then adapted it to the Latin later. But this very beautiful setting that has a little bit of that Orthodox feel to it, but in Stravinsky's really recognizable style. We will also be singing a fairly new piece by the composer Sarah MacDonald. Sarah MacDonald was born in Canada, raised there, went to England for schooling, and kind of stayed on. She is now the director of music at one of the Cambridge colleges, but then is also very active leading the girls' choir at Ely Cathedral, where our choir was in residence a few years ago. She wrote this anthem with a fascinating text by a theologian and 16th century, 17th century poet, Watkins, and it talks about the angels sing this day and so shall I, and it juxtaposes both the intimacy of the Nativity with sort of the reason of Christ's incarnation and pointing on towards the end of his life at Calvary, but then talking about that this is a time of celebration. It's a really fascinating text, and Sarah MacDonald sets it in a beautiful way, very sensitive to the poetry, and yet full of joy and expressive. At the reading after the Visitation of the Wise Men, we will be singing another piece that's new to our choir, The Magi's Dream by James Whitburn. And this is probably the most high drama that we will do all through the Christmas season. It starts off very slow and mysterious as the Magi are making their way to Bethlehem, but it ends with this really exuberant explosion of sound as it talks about the Magi getting the dream to go back a different way and to foil Herod and his more nefarious plans. And it talks about how Christ's presence with us foils the nefarious plans in our lives. Really interesting and imaginative setting. And then, of course, in addition to that, we will have lots of great congregational carols that we will all love singing, and we'll have brass. It's a wonderful service that we look forward to every year. Please do note that at the 10:30 service this Sunday, there will be no Eucharist. We would invite you to come at 8 o'clock for the Rite One Holy Eucharist that will be in the chapel, and stick around and stay for both services if you'd like. But if you want Eucharist, please come at the 8 o'clock service, and then 10:30 Lessons and Carols with brass, choir, organ, and lots of congregational singing. We hope to see you this Sunday as we start off our Christmas celebration here at St. John's Cathedral.